minority told the people of Ghana that with time they will see the true colors of the NDC. Ghanaians have seen the true colors of the NDC, and I'm sure, just as that poor cocoa farmer said, Mahama, what do you car? What you time? What do you car? In other words, they are saying that the president owes them for their cocoa. He has to pay. No matter what he does, he owes them. Mr. Speaker, I won't be never.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I think that let us be clear. I did not just rise on my own. The Speaker of the House asked a specific question, and Honorable Minority Leader, Honorable Minority Leader, I'm a member of this House, and I have maximum respect for leadership. So playing to the gallery with some of the comments you made are very unfortunate. But let's be clear, I did not rise to object to government business. The Speaker of the House, and sometimes when you're in the chair, you should pay attention to business in the House. The Speaker in the chair asked the question, anybody with an objection? So I didn't rise on my own. I rose in response to the question the Speaker asked. I caught his eye, and he gave me the floor. So I didn't just rise on my own. So it's important that we set the record straight. It's going into the Hansard. There are people you play to the gallery with. We have our banter when we have to, but when it's on the record is the record. And so if you're asking me to withdraw what? Are you asking the Speaker to withdraw his question if there was anybody in opposition? The Speaker asked that question, and I rose on it. And let us state for the fact that your people have asked questions. For those of you who have just come to Parliament and haven't paid attention to even the orientation, you make the noise. But you see, no. First timers who didn't pay attention. Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister responsible for communication.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
What you have to withdraw is if the questions are not taken, you wouldn't be able to come back and answer them.
Mr. Speaker, the very individuals who asked the questions, I said the questions have been invited to answer, for which I've sat in the chamber for 2.5 hours, are time bound. The individuals who have even filed the question are not in the chamber. And so I'm saying to you that, Mr. Speaker,
all you need to do is to wait when it gets to the time, and we call the question. And the individuals are not here to ask the question. Then whoever is presiding at that material moment will give the necessary directions. That is what happened. But I'm not also comfortable of the statement that if the questions are not handled for today, you will not be able to come back and answer the questions.
A moment ago, the Honorable Minister made a statement to the effect that me urging upon him to withdraw a rather unfortunate statement amounted to playing to the gallery. He went on further to use his left hand to point at some colleagues at the back bench, claiming that they have just come and they should go and learn the rules. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Sam George indeed is a colleague member of Parliament. But he knows, and I know, that once you become a minister of state, you hold an elevated position. And no matter what, all of us must accord that rank the needed respect. I find what he just directed at my backbench unfortunate. With the left hand, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, there is a good reason why you have a front bench. That in all difficulties and dangers, as you see them, you engage so that we all resolve. Even if they were wrong, you are a minister of state. Two wrongs, even if you saw anything wrong, you don't use your left hand to attack a colleague in the chamber. That's exactly what you did. Mr. Speaker, anyway, that thing that we cherish melts and it melts with time. I rest my case.
Who says shoes I saw one? On what about Parliament? Not cars on what they did. I say, hey. Wait, I said, a champagne socialist. We are confront them, tell them that they are champagne socialists. That is what they do. Hypocrisy, double standard. They do politics without principles. Tell them on your campuses. Face them with these words. These are hard facts. They should look at their leaders. Now they are enjoying. And they have abandoned the grassroots. Some of the 10 boys who are hungry and on campuses, when they want to do politics, face them with these facts. Tell them. They lie to you. They make you a hungry person. They make you poorer. They don't even give you opportunity. Yet you follow propaganda. Face them with the facts. Because MPP, we have a story to tell. Don't be worried at all when you hear on your campuses they are tagging any of your leaders with that so-called corruption. Don't mind them. If they do not, they believe in whatever they are saying, they should go to court. And go and tell the truth to the court. It's the reason why they removed the Chief Justice. Because they know that the Chief Justice will not help them to do persecution.
All right, you're watching Good Morning God on the Metro Television. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. That's on your radio dial. My name is Aldo Moro. Today's a holiday, as I did mention, and so we're doing something quite differently. And usually would pick up the newspapers and look at the big issues and get our guests to share their thoughts on the issues that we raise. But today it's going to be entirely different because, first of all, it's a holiday, and also when you have a chance to talk to the minority leader in Parliament, why not? You'd create some time to have that kind of engagement with him, because he's a very busy man. Once he makes time to join your show, it would always be a welcome news and a welcome development. And so, as I did indicate, I have the minority leader in Parliament. Sorry, I have the minority leader in Parliament. He's an MP for the good people of Efutu constituency, 4th term member of Parliament. He leads the charge of the minority in Parliament. He doesn't like us to call or he's not comfortable when we describe his group as, or when some people describe his group as micro-minority, says we should rather be mighty minority. I'm talking about the man Osahene Alexander Sacks Afenyo Marking. He's my guest on the Good Morning Ghana show, and he's made time of his very, very busy schedule to join us, and so we're grateful that he's been able to make time. Honorable, thank you very much for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
And, call it Easter Monday.
Yes, when you're supposed to be with family, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
and the constituents.
The job demands, so it's all part of the
right,
work.
Right.
Being with your constituents and appearing in the media space to communicate the views of the caucus and activities in the constituency. All of these are part of the work we're supposed to do. So we combine them.
Yeah. Well, Alex is a very good friend of mine. The only thing that I have an issue with is that he didn't go to a good school. He went to St. Augustine's. And I was in Adesado College same year. I would have wished he came to Adesado, but I'm sure that he didn't get opportunity to come to Adesado, otherwise he would have. That's the plain truth. And so he's an APSU, unfortunately. And when we have private engagement, I get a sense that he would have wished he was in Adesado, but it's okay. It's one of those things. That's the history now. Alex, good to see you once again.
The most privileged school in Ghana is St. Augustine's College.
How?
It comes without doubt.
How?
You didn't tell me how you think Adesado is the best school, but I mean, St. Augustine's is second to none, and I think I'm not going to get into that debate.
Okay.
This morning, but
no problem.
You know obviously that you yourself would have wished being part of the APSU fraternity, but your children can have the opportunity, so don't worry much about that.
I would have been surprised he didn't fight back because this is not something you would want to state publicly. In private conversations, he won't tell me directly, but I get the impression.
Oh my goodness!
That he has a lot of admiration for the zebras.
Listen, in my primary school, my desire was to go to St. Augustine's.
And the desire was fulfilled.
My cousins were choosing other schools.
Yes.
I was never moved. I was determined to do St. Augustine's.
Okay.
And that was it. Nothing changed my mind. And still proud, I enjoyed my secondary education in St. Augustine's.
You know,
and I know it is a wish of many to be part of the St. Augustine's fraternity. So, you have your decided. That's okay. No problem. But you guys, you are not our rivalries.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, those other boys.
Yes.
The
red.
Who are they really red? Their color, whether it's faded something or
whether it's pink or
I don't know. These other boys, we are your friends. So
yes, our seniors are good. They're very good friends. Yes, they're very good friends.
It's those other boys.
You know, it is because of them. It's Nkuma's people. They are the reasons why we sang the song Onya disco beba nanso ye dia fa na eko. Onya disco beba nanso ye dia fa na eko. Onya disco beba nanso ye dia fa na eko. Ama wakoshe kwa boche ama. Anyway, good to see you, Alex. And
good to see you, my brother.
Thank you once again. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. And first of all, happy Easter. What are your reflections? What are your reflections on Easter? You know, as we celebrate Easter.
This Easter, so Holy Thursday, I was at Christ the King with my General Secretary. So it's a good moment, reflecting on everything about life.
Right.
You know, the story of Jesus is very relatable. You know, you have your inner circle, and knowing that one of them is selling you out to your adversaries, and feeling so insecure that none could stand up for you at that very critical hour. They gripped with fear, and Christ himself was alone. So going to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray, asking for some higher powers to aid him to go through that difficult moment which he had chosen for himself. And then eventually his most trusted ally, I should put it, deny him thrice before, you know, the morning. It was quite heartbreaking, and it was a moment to relate the story of Christ to our own lives and what we go through day in, day out. But in all of these, he didn't give up. Then Friday itself, the Good Friday, I was at the cathedral. I joined the Archbishop at the cathedral, and it was also a good session. It was service, it was not mass. The Good Friday service with the family. 2 of my kids had come back from school. So together with Madame, the 4 of us were there. And Holy Saturday was also a whole day of reflection for me. I didn't go anywhere. Had some other emergencies to attend to. So I used the moment to stay at home to reflect and do prayers. Then Sunday morning, I went to Isuichiri. My great-grandpa comes from Isuichiri in Winneba.
Yeah.
So I decided to attend a Catholic church there, St. Andrews. It's a small community, you know, so I didn't want to be at the parish, you know, Sacred Heart, where I'm supposed to be. and I didn't want to be in any big church. I was supposed to decide whether to go to Chame and have a mass with the old man,
right,
or go to Nswechiri, and eventually we settled on Nswechiri. So I was there, and a Nigerian priest, led the mass. He touched on quite a number of issues, and the main theme for the day was love. How we should love one another and work together no matter what, and that's service instead of thinking too much about self. So I've picked my own reflections for the rest of the year. Easter is a very unique occasion for me personally. I don't believe in the noise around Easter. I don't believe in that noise around Easter. I don't believe that period is a period of fanfare. So I hardly would want to get too exposed when it gets to such a period. I think I see something more spiritual in Easter, that you delve deep within and raise your higher self.
Is that the same?
Yankopon should be your Jibre Hejumedi. Ham Ghana politics Afenyo so. Dãre send the head on now. Usufu good about politics there be any which be and so near Kebi. It will be your Jibre Hejumedi. I say, ha, and I embroid Emma Quine said, men from Nancy. More refuse so be like you share, subscribe to the channel. So anyway, Dãre, the uncle the Epiano, on so on Sun, every to my Kevin Nasa wants some cabin so. Na opesa can fashion comment section or Ghana politics Avenue Adimokoro every shame that I said they won't see us if you are so much. Your church was a middle be as a macra.